And we are live, ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen and ladies. Welcome to another episode of Collecting Profit. It's a special one for two reasons. Number one, I have returning guest Juice from Lootbox TV, who've had the pleasure of meeting and hanging out a little bit, not as much as I would like, but because when we meet each other, we're meeting each other at card shows, and you got a table, you got a lot of shit going on. So I mean, hey, we get to spend a little bit of time together. Hopefully, who knows, some of these other ones will get together. But it's also special, folks. This is the 75th episode of Collecting Profit.
Oh wow! Congratulations, that's a lot, man.
And
you guys are growing.
That's 75 weeks in a row. That's 75 consecutive weeks without missing an episode. So I appreciate everything. So Juice, for those who may not know you, we got Matty Ice in the chat already. Little introduction about yourself, sir.
Yeah, so my name's Juice. Lootbox TV is the YouTube channel. My buddy Jin helps me open up stuff every now and then on that. Started collecting way back in the 90s with baseball cards. Ken Griffey Jr. was my man. A little bit of basketball, but baseball heavy in the 90s. And then kind of switched over to Pokemon as a kid. Then took a break. Life happened. Grew up a little bit. Was able to get back into it when I got my own money. And then I jumped back into Pokemon way before the boom. And started ripping sports cards right around the boom. But Pokemon kind of took off first, and then sports cards, I think, kind of lagged right behind it, but then took off. It's funny, we stopped opening up Pokemon cards because it got way too expensive, and then sports cards got super expensive. But the big difference with sports cards is the Pokemon boxes we wanted to open up went from $2,000 to 13, 14, 15 grand.
Oh,
the sports cards boxes consistently stayed around, $1 to $2 grand with the Prisms of the world and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Thankfully, they're coming back down to earth, but Pokemon continues to stay very high. But I've always loved sports. I'm ingrained in sports. Majority of our following knows us because of sports.
So did you play Pokemon, or were you just a card collector of it?
Yeah, as a kid, I played in actually tournaments at the mall. I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona. So there was like Metro Mall, Paradise Valley Mall at the time. And I used to go there, and they used to have Pokemon tournaments, and my mom would sign me up and stuff. Then as I got older and when I got into it again, like 2018, early 2019, I just started collecting, not really playing, and then got into sports and sports cards again, and that took off as well.
Very cool, very cool. So for those people listening, but I don't think, congratulations to Jin and Juice Lootbox TV YouTube channel. 100,000 subs, man.
Yep. Thank you.
Congratulations.
A lot of consistency.
Yeah. So if you're not subbed to them, go right ahead. So we're gonna talk hobby and all that kind of stuff. But with the YouTube thing, what was the draw to the YouTube to get you to going? And then when did you notice, wow, this is something that can be really good for us?
Yeah, so funny enough, I started a YouTube channel way back in like 2015. I was doing a lot of gaming content then. So I understood YouTube and the functions of it. It's just YouTube at the time was very competitive around the gaming scene. Wasn't doing much, and I wanted to get myself in a hobby. One of those people that I can't sit still. Doing the line of work that I do, I'm always going. It's month in, month out, very busy. And when I get home, a lot of people tend to relax. Well, I relax by doing a hobby. I don't really just sit down. I can't really watch TV. That's not really my thing. So I wanted to get myself in a hobby, and then I tried this YouTube thing out. Then I switched from gaming because I was doing it for like 3-4 years, barely getting like 200 subscribers total. And it's a grind. It's 100% a grind. Definitely. And if you're falling out of love with it, it gets even harder. So I was like, you know what I really loved as a kid was Pokemon cards. I saw an opportunity with YouTube. Not a lot of people, like I would search Pokemon openings, things like that. A lot of people, in my opinion, weren't doing great. So I decided, hey, why not? I could probably do this. I think I got the personality. I got a loud voice. I'm super annoying at times. And sometimes people love that. And I started it late 2018, switched my content over to opening up product, and the rest is history. Then I want to say probably like 3 or 4 months after saw some good traction. I'm a big friends guy. Like my core group of friends, we always want everybody to like each other to get involved in everything that we do. I'm a big believer that you can't do everything by yourself. And like if you have a brotherhood that you're close with, working together as a group is great. And I met Jin around that time, and brought him into my inner circle. And from there, I was like, "Hey, buddy, I'm doing this YouTube thing. I don't know if you're interested, but if you help me get product, I could pump out more content, and we can grow from there." And at first, he was like, he was in. And he was helping me get products. So every time I would open, like I could open get double the amount of videos because there's 2 people buying product now.
Right.
He never wanted to be in the videos. And then he would end up sitting in the back because he was getting curious of what I was pulling.
Right.
And then he would want to sit closer and closer and closer. And I'm like, buddy. And then I got people in the comments like, why are you opening this guy's packs? I'm like, it's not because I don't want him to open. He just doesn't want to open.
Right.
So I was like, dude, you got to start opening up your packs. And Andrew's a, introvert individual. He's the exact opposite of me. I'm very loud. I could have a conversation with anybody.
Oh, yeah.
And at first, Jin wasn't. So it took me a minute, but I got him rocking and rolling. And he finally started to open, having a good time, develop his own personality. And it just grew from there.
And I know, and you guys opened a lot, and then I don't know how many months ago it was, you guys kind of did a little bit of a shift with your channel.
Yeah. I want to say probably about 1.5 years ago, there's a lot of factors that happen. Good factors at the end of the day. We were also co-owners of an app called Collector.
Yep.
Which is heavy in the TCG side. One of our mods that we used to have for our YouTube channel, he's an engineer, developed this, brought us in, and we helped him grow from a marketing standpoint, things like that. And now we have over 1 million users using the app, and it's huge on TCG side. We're working on sports cards. But Jin really found a passion with helping with that and making sure his attention is there. And I kind of began like still running the Lootbox channel like I always do. And I was just pumping in a ton of money. I mean, I would pump it a lot. I mean, there would be times where like from a 2-month span, I think I spent like 70 grand, 80 grand just on product and opening things up.
And I will tell you, for those of you that if you would not, I've been watching since before I saw you guys at Chicago in 2021. So I've been following you probably since either sometime end of 2020, beginning of 2021. So I've seen when you got, and I've seen you take. I'm sorry if I'm bringing up bad memories, but I've seen you take a lot of kicks to the nuts.
You're not wrong, my friend.
When you've opened the project and everything, so I can understand, what you went through and all that kind of stuff. So I definitely, feel for you in the way that was going and everything.
Yeah, I appreciate it. But what it did was, and what the whole purpose of the channel was to share our experiences.
Yep.
I'm not really much of an expert by all means. I'm not a huge fan of giving advice unless I have physically done it. Unless I do it. I'm a big believer in, if you're going to tell somebody to do something or be a part of something, put your own money to it, put your own capital to it, and actually experience it yourself. And boy, did I experience a lot of heartache. But it's the channel is there for everybody to see what real pull rates are. Really.
Yep. I agree with what Dami says, man. Yep.
Yo, Mike, this guy you have on is awesome. Hey, I appreciate it. Watch yourself a lot. Real straightforward dude. Him and his partner are awesome. Hey, I appreciate that, Dom.
And I think that's one of the things that I've always enjoyed about your guys' channel. And there's not a lot of channels like that, but there are, you're just like, hey, look, Here's what we got. We don't sugarcoat anything.
Yep.
You see, because let's face it, there are a lot of channels out there of people, and you're seeing way more hits than you are non-hits. You show everything. When you pull that, like when Andrew, I forgot what was that F1, wasn't it? He pulled a big F1 card, didn't he?
Yeah, he pulled a big F1 card.
Right.
We were at one of the nationals, and I filled him open up box. He got a 1-on-1. He lost his
Yeah,
which is great.
and you see that emotion and the raw stuff coming out and everything, and that's what's cool.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Like if you're chasing some type of card, and you have the ability to do it. Now, was it a stupid thing? Like, yes, I understand opening up a ton of wax is really dumb. I'm not oblivious to that. However, every single card that any of us own was pulled by someone. So someone has to open up product.
Right.
If you choose not to, that's fine. Am I slowing down myself? Absolutely. But I think I'm not going to say like I owe that to myself, but I think I showed enough where, hey, I put hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'll be real with you. Hundreds of thousands of dollars open up wax where I did not get a return worth anything. Now, people are like, oh, you have YouTube money and stuff like that. YouTube's not paying people what they think they're paying. A lot of that, YouTube only pays you on views, and you have to get a lot of views, and it's only on long form content. I know
really?
YouTube, yeah,
only on the long form stuff.
Yeah, shorts are just getting you views and subscribers, and they don't pay the bills. They don't keep the lights on.
Okay.
Like I do a lot of shorts right now because I'm not doing long form content as much. Now that's going to change here pretty soon, and I'm working on a couple things that I'll announce, sooner than later. But I'm going to get to making more long form content, and we're not necessarily going to change it up all too much, but there's going to be additional videos besides opening products that we're going to end up doing, which is going to help. And you want to build that long form base,
right?
Because that's where you're going to get the ad revenue from.
Now, when it comes to product, are you more of a NBA guy or an NFL guy right now?
I mean, my first love is basketball. I love basketball. I like ripping both football and basketball. Football, from my experiences, football is the most profitable.
I was going to ask next. If you see that.
Yeah, if you get like football 100%, if you get quarterbacks, if you focus on quarterbacks and want to do quarterbacks, and that's your primary focus, football is profitable. If you go hunting for these quarterbacks, you pull you get product, you pull it, especially good product like Prism or Downtowns or these special inserts. From what I've seen, football can be the most profitable. Least profitable is probably basketball. There's a couple of guys every year that spike. Right now, it's been Wemby. Luka's starting to grow again. The Wemby craze was absolutely insane. I think baseball, though, is more the more stable than anything.
True.
Baseball is just like you're in it for the long haul, though.
Yes. Yeah, and I know you've spoken on your channel a number of times that you're starting to get more into baseball now.
Yeah, I grew up loving baseball, but I am so disconnected with all the players that are there now. I mean, I grew up at a time where it was like juice ball, I guess, where it was just like Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, Ken Griffey Jr., those guys battling all the time for just home run records, Barry Bonds. Like, it was fun watching baseball. Now, I'm not saying it's not fun, but it's not as fun as it used to be for me. But now, though, being in the hobby, understanding that the blue chip stock, I guess, would be baseball. Like if you want to do anything, those are the big stocks you want to get into because they're the most consistent. You're not going to make a ton of money, but you can make a ton of money.
Right.
Type of deal. Like there's a better chance. With football, it's all about quarterbacks. Don't do anything else. With basketball, it's just a huge gamble.
Now with the football, in your opinion, and again, we are not giving any financial advice to anyone. Let's set that right now. But in your opinion, from a football standpoint, Is it more? Is football more of a turn and burn type thing than a hold, or do you think it's more of a hey, there are guys you can sit on, but then there are other guys. Look, you got to strike while the iron's hot.
I think football is turn and burn for everybody outside of quarterbacks. Unless you're personally like someone like, for instance, I collect Philadelphia Eagles
Yep.
players. I have AJ Brown cards, things like that, an Eagles jersey. I know if I'm paying $200, if I ever go to resell that card's probably going to be $100, if that. Turn and burn on everybody outside of quarterbacks. The quarterbacks are kind of like, I feel like, especially if you get them in rookie, they're kind of like the baseball aspect where you can sit on a Bowman product, a Bowman first, and see what that player can do. I think, like, for instance, look at Patrick Mahomes from what, 2018 it was?
Yeah.
2018. If you look at him, right, you get Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. That's 2018. Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. You get them, you hold their cards at that point, you get them around that point, and now you sit on them for a while and see what they become. Quarterbacks can get you your money back, or you make money, or you see the biggest growth with quarterbacks if you play that game like you do with a Bowman card from baseball of a particular player. That's kind of where you could see the growth. Anything outside of QBs in football, it's all turn and burn, in my opinion. Wide receivers don't hold. Running backs definitely don't hold. Any other position outside of that, you're turning a burden, or you're just collecting players you like.
And so basically, yeah. So yeah, I mean that makes a lot of sense. I think basketball has always been one of those for me when I've looked at it from the same type of thing is that, there's one or two guys you got to look at, but it's the same type of thing. I mean, I think it's, like you look at Wemby, right? I mean, I think he's shown enough. I think Chet has shown, enough to be a potential hole and stuff like that. But then there are other guys, you're not sure about. You hear about a lot of guys like the Thompson twins, right? You heard a lot about them coming out, but you're like, okay, what do I do if I put,
And with basketball is too, like in season, everybody knows the sports card hobbies from a selling perspective is very seasonal.
yes,
right? We get it. When the season's hot for a sport, it's super hot. When it's off, it has its downsides. I think basketball is the worst when it comes to seasonality. You got to be in season, and if it's outside of season, those cards are going to sell for 90% less. I think with other sports, you have the ability to hold a little value, but it's either all or nothing during the season, and then if you don't, you got to hold till the next season and pray that they do something. You mentioned the two Thompson twins. It's interesting to see what they're going to do. The one from the Houston Rockets, Amen, I believe, is the guy on the Houston Rockets. He had a phenomenal end of the season where I think he ended with like a 20-20 game or close to it, and he was averaging like 19 and 14, which is nuts towards the end of the season, and his cards got a little spike, especially when product came around. Now they have dropped considerably. Do you hold on to someone like that? Maybe, but the Houston Rockets are not an up and coming team.
Yeah,
they've been at the bottom of the bottom and getting high draft picks and high value players. Josh Green, Jabari Smith Jr., now one of the Thompson twins. They've got talent, but are they doing anything with that talent? And it's tough to say. They spend a lot of money off season, but they are maybe the closest on the cusp. The Pistons, like, they have so much talent. Jaden Ivey, Cade Cunningham, the other Thompson twin, but they're not even as far as the Rockets when it comes to potential. You mentioned Chet Holmgren. I think he has a lot of potential because of how good the team is. Also, you have to see these rookies do something, and if year after year they're not doing anything, you're holding on to these individuals. It's tough. So when it comes to basketball, I'll finally land the plane here. If you get someone like the Thompson twins is during the season, you sell. I don't think you hold. But if you get them, the season ends, you got to hold and see what they potentially could do, because you might be able to get more for them. But if they start not doing well at the beginning next season, I would just get rid of them because they're going to drop tremendously. And every week you're going to end up losing money.
Yeah, the value is not going to not going to be there and everything like that. Dom had a question. You guys open up seemingly everything. What's your favorite product to open? Now, he probably I don't know if you want to get just sport or actual national treasures or something, something along those lines.
I'll give a couple examples. So overall, Panini 101 basketball is my favorite.
Wow. Why?
Panini 101 it's so cool. It's funny, those boxes have skyrocketed before the jump. 2019-2020 boxes with Zion Williamson in it, before the hype took off, right when they first came out, they were selling for maybe like $400 a box, and I was getting them all day. Then all of a sudden COVID hit, they just skyrocketed. They almost tripled in value, and you couldn't get a box for less than $1,200 for 2 cards. The thought process, though, of Panini 101, where you get a auto and a numbered or better parallel, and with the downtowns, I just think it's a really cool product. Sports card opening is gambling. Maybe I'm addicted to gambling, but I love that rush of opening up a product. That product to me fulfills that rush. Second would be, it's like a tie between Flawless and National Treasures. I like Flawless a little bit more because National Treasures used to be all game worn stuff.
Yep.
Now it's Flawless is the one that's all game worn, and National Treasures just really has like non-associated patches, which is crazy to me. A product could be so expensive that doesn't have game worn material in it.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Yeah, it's nuts. Now, when you look at individual sports, football, Panini Prism, and Optic are the two of the coolest products I love opening for football. They're absolutely terrible for basketball. I don't understand why Panini did this. I don't understand it, but their checklists and inserts are so drastically different between the two sports. Prism football's checklists and inserts, if you look at it compared to the inserts and the type of cards you get from Panini basketball, is just night and day difference. You get color blast in football, you get better numbered parallels, you get more action out of it. You have a couple other, you have the stained glass mixed with the color blast parallels, where Prism basketball, you don't have any of that, which is crazy.
It is
absolutely crazy. How is Panini Prism is like the flagship card of the hobby,
right?
And why is football so drastically different than the basketball product? And same goes with Optic.
Sure. Very true.
Optic basketball, you get the on-card autos, and that's about it. No downtowns, no nothing. I wish Panini made it more similar, but football products, Panini Prism and Optic are phenomenal, in my opinion.
So now, as you're getting into baseball, what are you looking at when it comes to baseball product?
Oh man, I have a good friend of mine. He's a breaker, and he works at for a shop.
G
is my boy. He's I listen to them a lot. They're a big baseball shop. I've opened up 2 cases by myself. Had him open up for me of Topps Update, and I pulled a ton of Adleys and a handful of other individuals getting their Topps Update, their rookie cards. Looking for debut patches and stuff like that as well. Obviously, I haven't hit one, which I wish I did, but.
Right.
So I've been opening up that product. That's kind of like sparked my baseball interest. I was just in a couple Bowman breaks looking for the Nationals guy and the Phillies kid. Wasn't very successful there.
We were in some of those breaks together.
Oh, were you? Okay. Yeah. We.
I got the Max Clark.
Oh, okay. There you go. Must be nice. I didn't get nothing that break.
I don't have it yet. G sent me a message. He's like, "Hey, I want to send this to PSA for you," and I was like, "I'm not." He goes, "No." He goes, "No." He goes, "I want to do it. This is unbelievable." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
Go
Yeah,
right
that's
ahead.
cool. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hopefully it comes back 10 and everything. You'd be super happy.
Oh, heck yeah.
But you know, it was in that I'm starting to get into those kind of breaks and stuff. I don't know if I could do the whole Bowman like draft and stuff like that. I don't know if I could get into that product because it takes a lot of time and understanding. You really got to know your shit
Yep.
as a collector and investor. That's why I have so much respect for the baseball guys that do that day in and day out. That is the backbone of the hobby. That is what the hobby is about. I just don't have the time for it.
Well,
So
to your point, it's the prospecting part which takes it, and that's where it's very it makes it harder at times because, like, for
yeah,
instance, remember, if I mean, again, baseball, like Drew Jones, right? The big chase a couple years ago, was it David Adams put the
yeah, $1 million
quarter million dollar
quarter
or something
million.
like that, 500, whatever the number was, bounty out on him or stuff like that. And when they pay that money and the guy went accepted, which I agree. And anybody who ever asked me, they say, hey, you pull a Bowman first, what do you do? And I said to the person, I go, look, to me, unless you PC that guy, you should go ahead and sell it, because Drew Jones is a perfect example. He all of a sudden he started getting hurt,
Yep.
not doing much in the minor leagues and stuff like that. Now, hey, it's so you don't know what you're going to get. Same type of thing is the prospecting. Very, 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 very different, because you don't know where they are, right? A rookie, a guy, you figure you're looking at a first Bowman Chrome of some kid who just got drafted playing in A ball. Very different than if you pick a Chet Holmgren who you're watching him play in
Yeah.
the pros, his
Yeah.
first card. So
Yeah.
it's big. It's a big deal.
I was more recently, Jackson Holiday comes to mind.
Yep.
Got called up, and now they send him back down. He's not doing so well, and his card's tanked.
Yep.
Absolutely tanked. But everybody who sold big. One of the biggest thrills I did get from a baseball card was I pulled a LeBron James color blast from the Culture Collision show like 2 years ago.
Wow.
I graded it. It got a PSA 10. I then went to the Nashville show and I traded it for like a value of $5K. I did 2,500 cash, and at the time I did an Ellie Bowman first on card auto PSA 10 out of like 99 or 199. It was the green parallel, so whatever that is. And at the time, Ellie hasn't been called up yet, anything like that. I was like, should I do it? Should I do it? So I ended up doing it. He gave me $2,500 cash, and the card was like $2,000 at the time. 2 months later, I flipped the card for $1,200 profit.
Nice. There
So
you
I
go.
turned it to like 3,200. So I was able. He got called up, and he hit, I think, the first home run of the game or whatever it was, his first game up. And I never made $1,200 so fast in my life. And I was shitting myself because he went on an incredible run that year that he got called up there to end the season or whatever it was. And if I held it a little bit longer, the guy I sold it to for 32 sold it for 45.
Oh, wow.
So he made even more money. I was like, dang, if I would have waited, I would have doubled my money easily.
Yeah, I mean, but it's like,
But it's
like golden handcuffs, right?
Yeah.
It's like, do I break them? Do I keep them? Because do I wait a little bit longer, or do I go ahead and take the money now and take a chance and stuff? I mean, but to your point, that's the gambling aspect of it.
Yeah.
And look, doesn't matter. That's any sport. That could be it. Not only is it the big three, but that's F1. That's soccer. That's no matter what sport it is. You're collecting. That's just the way it's going to be. I mean, you have to take that chance and everything. From that standpoint and everything. What do you so you being a basketball and a football guy means you're more of I don't want to say you're more of a Panini guy, but that's where you've gone.
Yep.
Now, what about as Fanatics? Easy, Dom. All right, easy, buddy. Dami is a great guy and everything.
Hey, Mike's got a kink, man. Leave him alone.
Hey, don't judge. What do you think about the stuff going over to Fanatics?
I to be honest with you, I really think it's one company that doesn't really pay attention to listen to their fans going to another company that doesn't pay attention to listen to their fans. They're both terrible in my opinion. I think Fanatics tried to do some good. I think there's a lot of individuals who were hyping them up when Fanatics got bought. They're like, "Oh, this is great for the hobby." So far from Fanatics, we've seen a couple of cool things. Now, I don't own a shop, or anything, but I know people who own shops and who go into the Tops conventions and stuff, and it feels like the Tops people that are part of it and those influencers slash card owners and card shop owners, things like that, that went to this, it sounds like they have to be nice to the Fanatics and basically are not allowed to speak their mind. And to me, that's absolutely wild. I think they're going to try to regulate a lot of things and control a lot of things, and that's never good for a hobby or for a particular certain thing. And so far, they've done a couple cool things. Like, I like the ideas of I think their redemption said they weren't going to expire, or they last for like 10 years or something like that, which is kind of cool.
Yep.
The funny thing is they've basically effed up just as much as Panini in the past couple releases when it comes to certain product. The only thing is, unlike Panini, they come out and say, "Hey, we effed up. Let us try to fix it," which is cool because they're taking accountability. But it just goes to show you that both companies are going to F up. I think it's a terrible idea releasing Topps Chrome Basketball, an iconic set, not licensed yet. I think that's a really dumb move. I think they really ruined the hobby for the hobbyists, the collectors, recently signing all these players away in these exclusive rights and really just being finicky with that and creating like this turf war. Because not having quarterback autos and a lot of these Panini products, I get it helps them, makes Panini look bad. But the person that suffers the most is the collector, the hobbyist, the flipper, the seller. All of us get affected by it. And I'm not a big fan of them playing that type of game. It already seems like they're trying to, it's funny. In the industry I work with, there's a company that owns, a third-party company that owns a lot of things. We call them the Evil Empire. Fanatics is starting to feel like the Evil Empire from Star Wars. Like, they're trying to rule the galaxy when it comes to the hobby, getting their hands on everything. Fanatics Live. If you have a card shop you're going to break, you're going to use Fanatics Live. Or you do this, you do that. And it just seems like, okay, we had Panini and we complained about Panini.
Yep.
Fanatics took over. They still do the same issues as Panini. They sprinkle a little bit, hey, release, we're telling the truth. But now they're doing other things different, Panini. Now they're forcing card shops to use Fanatics Live if they want to break, or they're forcing card shops to now do what they want to do from a Topps perspective or Fanatics perspective, or you're not going to get your Topps allocation. They're now micromanaging the hobby and putting their own regulations in it instead of allowing the hobby to flourish and let the hobby just be what the hobby wants to be.
Yeah, I was talking.
I'm not a big fan of that.
Yeah, I was talking to. I go to Champions a lot.
Okay.
They're right by Sandy Plains and the connector over there. They're them and Ducks Dugout are the two closest ones to my house.
Okay.
I like the guys at Champions more. Not that the guys at Ducks Dugout are bad. I don't know. I have a better rapport with them when I go in there and talk and everything. And the one thing that I found very interesting when they were talking about how Topps is going to look, or I should say Fanatics is going to look how you run your shop. And they don't want and they want shops now to look a certain way and everything. And I'm thinking, how is that good?
Yeah. How did this become a franchisee model? You're not invested in my card shop. Like, I just get product from you.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Domino one favorite shops to visit?
It's tough. Locally in Atlanta, there's not a ton.
Yeah, you're right.
There's a handful. I've been to Giant Sports Cards up in I think they're in the Alpharetta area. I've been to Cards HQ. I don't have any qualms with Jeff. Cards HQs seem pretty cool. It's a big shop. They got some product, but they don't have Panini. And Jeff will openly tell you they don't get Panini. So they don't have like Panini Direct. So they can't, if I'm a Panini guy, like you said, right?
Right.
I can't really get Panini stuff from him.
Exactly.
So there's a couple other local shops. My favorite shops though, across the country, I plug them all the time, but I'm also really good friends with them. Louisville Sports Card Shop in Louisville, Kentucky. Those are probably the most down to earth people I've ever met in the entire life. If I had to say like a prime example of what the hobby is, it would be the folks over at Louisville Sports Cards. The owners, Chris and Kristen G, is the only reason why I'm doing as much as I am in the hobby. I owe him a lot. And then Adam, one of the individuals over there too, he's a phenomenal individual.
Dom is opinionated.
Hey, Dom, keep being you, brother.
Exactly. HQ is in that city of the team that we don't mention on this channel.
Oh, what team is that? The Braves?
The baseball team from Atlanta, as I refer to them.
Oh, they suck. I hate the Braves.
Good. Man.
I absolutely hate the Braves.
But I will tell you, so I've only met G in person from Louisville.
Yeah.
And I will say, and I met him at I met him at the Nationals the first time when we met in Chicago that first time.
And you probably met Adam too.
Yes, that's right. Adam was there also. And then spoke to him even more at the last Culture Collision and everything. And I will tell you, at that point, I think I had maybe bought in one or two of their, their breaks and stuff. But after talking to him and stuff like that, and to me, when someone's going to give me of their time, that means a lot. For me to walk up to him and just start talking to him, and him talking to me as though we've known each other more than just like an IG message, like, hey, G, how's it going? So on and so forth, everything like that. But actually talking, and, like, I didn't feel as though like he wasn't trying to get rid of me. And I didn't feel as though like I was taking up his time or everything, because he would, so that made me go ahead and say, hey, you know what? No, if I'm going to spend my money, that's where I'm going to spend it, because that's a guy who, who cares.
Yeah.
That's a hobby guy.
The man lives and breathes sports. I learned a lot from him. He's very passionate about his teams. He's very passionate about the hobby, and he means well. That whole crew is phenomenal.
Yeah,
absolutely phenomenal.
I have to go ahead. I mean, I got to see if we're gonna. I don't know when we go to National. I don't know if we'll go through Nashville. I mean, we won't go through Kentucky. But I have to get up over that way again and visit them, take my son and go up there and visit those guys, because to actually see what their shop is, because, like I said, good people. Like I said, just from meeting them, really, really good people.
100%.
I can't say anything, bad about them and everything. But to your point about the whole with the fanatics and stuff, and I don't, it's funny, people crapped on Panini Baseball because it wasn't a licensed product. But yet you don't hear the same thing going on with basketball and football that Fanatics is going to do.
Yeah, they can't. They're not allowed to say anything bad.
That's true, because they'll get screwed.
Yeah. Almost all those influencers, if you connect the dot, they have card shops. And they can't really talk bad about the brand, which I get it. They got put in a position, but they got to make sure they do what's right for their business. So it's tough. Like I can't speak for them. I don't know their position. I don't know their financial position. I don't know how truly it affects it, because I'm an outsider looking in. But the impression that I get is they can't really talk about it.
Right.
To me, I'll tell you all the time, I hate unlicensed stuff. I'm not going to buy Topps Chrome basketball. I may buy it to open it to share, but I'm not collecting. And I'm a basketball guy. I love Topps Chrome's product. I'm not doing anything until I actually get licensed stuff. I care about license, plain and simple. I've always hated unlicensed stuff, and I will tell you straight up that I still hate it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of it, but like with to me, I'm a baseball guy,
Yeah,
and so if my player that I like, is in a a Panini product, I will go and try and get that player. But I'm not necessarily going to try and go ahead and same thing as you, go crazy opening a whole bunch. I may buy some singles here and there, of a particular player out of a particular set. But
sure.
but yeah, the that other piece, I agree with you there. I don't understand it. I mean, well, I don't shouldn't say I understand, but your point, now that you said what you said, it makes a crap ton of sense of why you won't hear the influencers go ahead, and say something that's really what most people want to hear them say,
Yeah, they're.
you
I'm
know?
almost positive their contract states they cannot badmouth the brand. It's like
Oh,
part
wow.
of the. It's like part of like if you have a shop and you are getting allocation from Tops or Fanatics,
Mhm.
the same company, you're getting an allocation for them. I'm almost pretty sure they have it in some type of covenant, some type of guidelines, some
Yep.
type of you cannot badmouth the brand whatsoever.
Oh,
So I'm pretty positive that's the case.
oh, that makes a ton of sense. So
Ooh,
what is some of your favorite things about the hobby?
my favorite things about the hobby. Well, one is the people. I like the connections. I like getting together with like-minded folks, talking about cards, talking about experiences, talking about events, meeting individuals. I really enjoy that. I also like now with social media the interactions with the athletes on social media in the hobby. Give you an example. Grew up and I was born on the East Coast and around the Philadelphia area. That's how my connection to the Eagles and Phillies and the 76ers come from. My family grew up huge fans of them, and I became fans of them. However, I moved out to Phoenix and I grew up, and since basketball is my favorite sport, I got to Phoenix right when Jason Kidd was still on the team.
Oh,
Penny Hardaway was on the team. An older Dan Marley was on the team. Um, really, really started it. And then Steve Nash came when I was entering high school, and that changed the world for me. Fell in love with the Phoenix Suns. They also drafted a guy, I want to say 2002, Mari Stoudemire.
yep.
Um, became my favorite player of all time. Amari Stoudemire is my favorite player of all time. I was at the most recent Nashville show, and I got a signed Amari Stoudemire jersey, the black jersey, the older back throwback back jerseys,
Oh, wow.
autographed by Amari. I posted it on my story, and I made an Instagram post, and I said, "This is my goat," and I tagged him. He shares it on his Instagram, hits me up in the DM, and says, "Thanks, man, I appreciate it." And like for like a brief, we didn't have like a 20-minute conversation. For a
Right.
brief like 2 minutes, I said, "Yo, I really appreciate it. You're amazing. I thanks for being a amazing player for the Phoenix Suns." Something along those lines. And he's like, the fans are the best. You guys are the best. Thank you." And just that little interaction, him sharing it with me, I called my fiance, I called my best friend, I called a couple of people up in Phoenix, and I was like, "Dude, Amari just shared my stuff," and I'm a 36-year-old man,
Right.
and I'm like, freaking like, "Dude, Amari Stoudemire shared my shit!" Like, holy crap, dude! And like, it's just that right there, meeting the people, the interactions, the stories, the experiences. That's why I love the hobby.
Yep.
That's the big thing about it. And then the second part is just like more of the collecting aspect. Like one of the things that a lot of people haven't seen that slowly showcase, but I'm a huge collector of any player that went to the University of Arizona.
Yes,
My
you are.
college, love Arizona. I have like 3 2 rows of just players of all my teams and everything. And people always like, what's in your collection? What's in your collection? You guys have seen like all the Benedict Mathers and stuff, but I mean, I have some like really cool cards of like just of like Sean Elliott, a couple of Sean Elliott autos. Hate the Spurs, love Sean Elliott. So it's kind of like we're growing up a Suns fan, but I Gilbert Arenas. I have a couple Gilbert Arenas cards, and those are like extremely hard to get. I have like the rainbow of Amari Stoudemire from a Prism set. Like I have some really cool cards, and I'll probably start sharing that stuff. I know I went to the Mari. He didn't go to Arizona, but I'm just saying, like, those are
Yeah,
the type
no,
of
no, no.
stuff I have.
Yeah.
And I like the collecting. So basically, the people, the interactions, and collecting are my favorite things.
Damon Stoudemire.
Damon Stoudemire,
I could say
I pulled the
you
gold.
pulled the gold, I think.
Yep, and it's still on my PC. No
Yep.
one's touching that bad boy.
Yeah, I remember you. Yeah, that was like it was like what, a hotel rip or a restaurant rip.
Yeah,
Or
we were at the
something along those lines?
National last year, and we were down at the hotel, and I just got a bunch of wax, and it was around a bunch of hobby people, and Jen was happy, and Adam was happy, and he had the freaking Raptors jersey on too, the throwback
Yeah.
Raptors jersey. It was sick. It was sick.
Yeah, yeah. I tell you, you know, you're right. It's weird how the little things like that. That's definitely the part of the hobby that is, I mean, I haven't had something like that happen. I mean, I haven't had something like that happen to me from a player standpoint. Um, I pulled a gold on card Derek Jeter auto out of Chrome Platinum, nine out of
Wow.
50, and actually Tops reached out to me wanting to cut that clip from my video and put it in their top pulls of 2023.
That's amazing.
Yes, I was like, yeah, right. Sure. Okay, Mr. Email. I'll answer you back. Sure. And the guy responds back. He's like, thank you very much. We'll let you know. And all of a sudden, I'm not thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. Sure, sure, sure. And all of a sudden, bing, email. There's the link to the video. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's true.
That is awesome.
You
That's
know?
really cool. That is stuff like that. And like, it's cool when those, I know, I've said some things about Tops tonight and so forth.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just out of love, but
Yep.
they do some really cool stuff.
They
They're
do.
like reaching out to the community, sharing those items. That's what it's about. That
Yep.
like cool. You're getting the exposure, but for the company to recognize and then share that so everybody can share that experience that you've had, that is phenomenal.
Yeah. And you're right. That's the part of the hobby that, we can't let these companies take away from us. That's the kind of stuff that we have to just keep going no matter what and say, you know what? This is what we do. This is, the interactions that we're going to have, the good, the bad, the ugly, and you're fine. We're going to have all that. That's great. But we're not going to let you guys go ahead, and ruin something that, I mean, for the most part, when you think about it, like when you go to these shows, other than the younger kids, most of the older gentlemen have been in this for a long time.
Yep.
Now might not have been like to your point, like I was same as you, not continuous, right? Because you're
Sure.
young, you're a kid, and then all of a sudden, some other things happen in your life,
Yeah.
when you college and jobs and all the other kind of stuff and different types of responsibilities and all this all kind of stuff. And then to your point, then you get to the point to where you have some of that, disposable income and stuff, and you get back in and you start doing everything, but you don't really get out. Like,
No,
even
right.
when I was never really out. I always still paid attention, to what was going on. I pay a lot more attention now, but
Yeah.
but I always have gone ahead and paid attention. I've always tried to, um, you know, I, I was really never a basketball or a football guy, so I missed the times, you know, when Kobe and Mike, all that kind of stuff, everything.
Ooh.
But for instance, okay, these two hands right here, I have two Walter Payton rookies that I actually ripped
Wow.
out of packs and everything.
That is that. See that, and what sucks now too is that experience that you have with the Walter Payton piece. I feel like there's not going to be the equivalent unless somebody pulls a crazy numbered low number parallel of
Right.
like a kid. Like you
Right.
can't like pulling someone's base rookie nowadays. This means nothing.
Right.
Absolutely nothing. And it's a shame.
Yeah.
It really
Right.
is.
And I think that's the one part that I am, for lack of better words, and I don't mean to say disappointed, but it's really like that's the one part of the hobby that kind of has, that irks me a little bit from that standpoint, and the idea, of, I don't know, players having, 200 one-of-one cards. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and all this other kind of stuff. And oh wait, but I got a rookie RPA. But wait a minute, I got a rookie RPA.
Yep.
Mine's a one-of-one. Wait, mine's a one-of-one.
Yep. Yep. And
So
like
how
creating
special is it?
right and creating all these different sets, like even though I do open up a lot of Panini product, dude, they have a lot of stupid sets that should not exist. It's just like, okay, Panini, I get it. You're the same card company making all these. Like, I illusions. I'm sorry for any illusions fans out there. A product that is not needed. Clearly Donruss, not needed.
Correct.
Like, how many times can you print a Donruss or Donruss Optic card? Like, come on. It's there's just so much that's just not needed. It's ridiculous, and product just sits on the shelf. I know before there was a lot of, during the hype, there was literally no products left whatsoever. But now the product that's left is all the product that no one wants.
Right.
All the bad product. And that should be a sign like, okay, you're literally about to be left with pallets upon pallets of this terrible product. Panini, you got to do something about it. But now I think Panini's getting to a point where they don't care. They lost the battle. They lost the rights. I hope Topps doesn't buy them or Fanatics. But I also, at the same time, it's going to suck missing out on National Treasures and Panini Prism.
Flawless.
But like, I don't want a monopoly in the space. I feel like there's already one, and it's already not going well.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, to think that, you won't have, NT, to think that you won't have Flawless. And I know they'll go, well, but you have Dynasty or you have, Triple Threads or something like that. But, I mean, I just, to to your point, I mean, there are some that are icons, you know what I'm saying? And it just makes you, you wonder, what can they go ahead and do? Like, so are we going to get the exact same? So when Topps goes ahead, or when Fanatics goes ahead and gets, basketball and football, is baseball series one? Is it going to be a football series one, a basketball series one? Are they all going to be the same design?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then what? Then we're going to get Chrome.
Yep.
And then we're going to get what after, what after that? Cosmic of all the stuff. Like, I don't know. I like you. I don't know. I don't know how great this is. And the problem you have is they got big deals too. These are not, like short-term 2-3 year deals. If I remember correctly, aren't they like 10-year deals?
Yeah. For a while when it happens. I mean, it should be happening in the next year or so.
Yep.
And then to like 30, 35, like,
yeah.
Wow. And
excuse me.
And not having, I'm a bigger fan of everybody having licenses. All those other companies, they reduce the amount of product they have, and whoever just makes the better card, people collect.
Yeah.
Collect what you like. Like, this exclusivity and stuff like that is ruining a lot.
Yeah, and I, like, I wonder from a standpoint, does Panini, like, do they go on a, like a scorched earth type tour thing and now start looking at these friggin' high school seniors or college freshmen and signing them to exclusive, 5-6 year, deals for their autograph?
Yeah, and I think they just did that with Caitlin Clark. I think she just got signed to them. So, like, now Topps, who was pumping out a ton of Caitlin Clark stuff, now it's going to be Panini. But I think Panini loses the WNBA rights when they lose the NBA rights.
I think so.
So it's super odd, super strange. There's going to be, I think they still have the soccer rights, or part of the soccer rights. Like, see, Topps and Panini both have soccer rights.
Yes.
They don't have all the soccer rights.
Yep.
there's just a lot of questions that aren't answered. A lot of questions that probably won't be answered. I mean, hell, they're the most popular sport, or the second most popular sport in the world. Do you know what that is?
NASCAR F1,
Nope, it's cricket.
cricket.
Cricket is the second most popular sport in the world. They don't even have, like, they have some trading cards, but they're not even not even close to where a lot of these other sports are.
Oh wow.
There's millions upon millions upon millions of people that watch cricket.
Huh.
Their stadiums are bigger than college stadiums to watch overseas. It's absolutely insane. Cricket is like massive and not a sports card market. I would be interested to see if like a Panini goes after something like that to try to make up revenue across the world.
Well, that's what I wondered. I wondered the same type of thing. Did I start to look at some of those the other things? So I mean, let's see. So what about our mixed martial arts UFC? I know Panini is losing wrestling. That wrestling WWE is going to Tops.
They're all the same company now.
Oh, that's right. They are. Duh.
So I think they're all going. I think they're all going. Going at the same time. Yep, the Cricket World Cup is happening in Long Island. Yep.
There you go. That's where
And
Dom lives. That's where I used to live. That is where Dom lives.
and there's an so like for instance, and the reason why I know this, and you guys will get a little insight. There's somebody that I met at the National. One of the first National I went, I think, is when I met you. He gave me a stack of cricket packs. He's like, "Hey, we got to film this." 2.5-3 years later, we finally filmed it like a week ago, and I learned all this stuff about cricket. So that's why I threw it out there. And I haven't edited it yet, but it's coming out. And it's funny. So he talked about the Cricket World Cup that's in New York. There's a player that is playing in that for India, I believe. The amount of Instagram followers he has more than Ronaldo or Messi. And this is how popular this guy in the world is. And he has one card.
Oh wow.
One card. Absolutely
Wow.
insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And it's just like that's where like I think Panini's going to turn their focus to. I'm not saying cricket, but I'm saying like overseas, like how can we get involved more? Because if they're going to lose those licenses, remember Panini started out. They're a company from Italy,
Right.
and they've made sticker cards, stuff like that. So like I think. I think they're going to go back to some of their roots a little bit and go back overseas and focus on a lot of stuff there.
Well, I know they do a lot of the World Cup stuff.
Yeah.
They do a lot of that and everything. I don't know. I just look at certain things, you wonder how does Leaf still now again, not saying Leaf is bigger or anything, but how does how does Leaf go ahead and stay? I don't want to say relevant because I don't know if relevant's the right word.
I don't understand. Like,
I,
I'm no disrespect to anybody who collects Leaf. I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't think the card design's good. People say they love their card design. I think it's some of the ugliest cards I've ever seen in my entire life. The Leaf Pop Century where they get stars. I mean, they're literally grabbing B and C level stars. Like, it's not like it's anything massive. And again, no disrespect to those people. I'm happy they're signing product and stuff. It's just like, I don't understand how it can compete. I don't understand how they're still in business and they're pumping out.
But I think to your point and what Dom is saying, the Pop Century it seems to be what carries them.
And it's terrible.
And I don't disagree with you.
I just saw Card Collector 2 did a short where he opened up a Pop Century, I believe it was. And it was the most recent Leaf product that it was no sports autos. It was all these pop stars, whatever, actors.
Mm-hmm.
It was garbage.
Yep.
Now, granted, I respect the people that are in there, but like to say like this is a $200 product and give me 4 or 5 autos of actors where I can go on eBay and buy their cards for like $2.
Right.
What are we talking about?
Yeah. Well, it's just like Upper Deck. I mean, Upper Deck, they have hockey, and I mean,
Upper Deck is so weird for card shops too, man.
Yeah.
Upper Deck doesn't allow you to sell their products on their own like card shops websites. Like you
Really?
cannot physically you would have to go to like DA Car World or
Yeah.
something like that, like a bigger distributor. Like if you go to a mom and pop shop,
So LouisvilleCards.com, I can't get, but I could walk in their store and buy it.
correct.
Huh. That's an
Yeah,
interesting one. Like, but like you wonder, hockey with them. I mean, hockey's another one. Hockey's a strange one. I mean, I look at, like it's unbelievable. I was, I like hockey. Growing up on Long Island and everything. Growing up in the Northeast, hockey. We played hockey always. It's all that kind of stuff. Follow hockey a lot. And to see and it's funny. You talk about one player, Connor Bedard, and then all of a sudden, where the prices were, reasonable or even below reasonable for upper deck stuff. Connor Bedard, the potential, all of a sudden, boom. I mean, just a freaking skyrocket with that
insane.
one player, and it is absolutely crazy.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
now, but we talked about holding players and stuff. Not too long ago, Connor McDavid was coveted just like Connor Bedard was when it came to his rookie card right away. Now look at it. He's super young. He's playing for a Stanley Cup.
Yep.
And they all called it. Hockey's crazy. You can call like who's going to be the greats right away. And it's nuts. It's actually nuts. I have different story.
And they perform.
Different story, but my fiance is from Long Island as well. She grew up there.
God bless her.
I've been there like 5 times, but I keep forgetting the little small town. I always thought Long Island was just part of like New York. And she like corrected me like 6 times.
No,
Long
we're
Island
different.
is its own thing. I'm like, you're literally 2 minutes away from Queens.
You're right, but it's different. Nassau County, very, very different. You have a Holy Grail? You have a Holy Grail?
Holy Grail. Yes and no. I have Holy Grails. Like, I have an idea what my Holy Grail card is. Like a card I would love to own no matter what. And that is, it's gonna be funny. You guys might not believe me, but it's probably Laurie Markkanen's 101 National Treasures card, or like a Laurie Markkanen Flawless 101 from his rookie year. That's the ultimate Grail card for me. I love Laurie Markkanen. Think he's a phenomenal player. I would love to have that card. If National Treasures and Flawless was around when, say, Sean Elliott was around, or Gilbert Arenas, or Channing Frye when he was a rookie, then yeah, I would love those. I don't think when Channing Frye came out as a rookie, I don't think they made that product yet. So if I can find the rookie equivalent, and I think the earliest person it was going to be maybe Laurie, if I really had to think about it, it would be his that I would want.
Yeah.
I do have Benedict Matherin's out of 23 first off the line RPA from National Treasures, which is really dope.
Very
really
nice
dope card. That's probably like one of the top tier cards I have. I do have Devin Booker player worn National Treasures on card auto PSA 1010. It's like colossal. It's about $4,500.
Nice.
That's sitting on top of my shelf. That's one of my holy grails in my collection.
Now, how does the Holy Grail go to your top 50 list that you were working on?
Hey, that website's still alive. I think it is my top 50 cards. Yep.
Matt's from Indiana, so he's from Indy. So Pacers are his team.
I really like the Pacers. I think Pacer players, Halliburton, Benedict Mathurin. I think the Pacers are going to be a team that's going to be really good for years to come. They're super young, super talented. I think they're going to be in the playoffs and make deep runs in the playoffs probably for the next 5 to 10 years.
I can see that.
When I'm looking at this card list, I have a lot of them, believe it or not.
Yeah, you did have a lot of them.
I do. I still have them all. I have a PSA 9 I put on this list. 1989 Topps Ken Griffey Jr. PSA 10 Tiffany's would be ideal. but I have a PSA 9 Tiffany's, which is pretty cool.
That's the tops with the cup.
Yeah. It's with the gold.
That's that one.
No, that's different.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, it's not with the cup. It is the white beige background. He's still holding a. I believe he's holding it back. Like I'm drawing it right now. It's King Griffey. It is. Yeah, he's still holding it back. It almost looks exactly like that. But here's one. Tiffany's $4,500.
Yeah. 89, not 9. Oh, the 89, not the 90.
You were holding 90? Yeah.
Yeah.
89. It's a beautiful card. I have a PSA 9 of it.
Nice.
But yeah, there's a lot of cards on here. I'm still working to get. I do have a Steve Austin auto. I want to get a LeBron James tribute dunk. I think that's what. So let's talk about cards real quick. You talk about iconic cards.
Yep.
Of like super modern cards.
Yep.
That LeBron James 2020 tribute dunk where he did Kobe's dunk.
Yep.
I think that photo, that number parallel of card is one to go down as one of the best modern day iconic cards. And I'm talking about like since the hobby boom of 2020. Like that card, past 5 years, one of the coolest cards ever made, in my opinion. Beautiful card.
But you've pulled that card.
I have, but I want to get a 99 or better. I've never pulled a 99 or better.
Oh, okay.
I want to get at least a 99. When I get my parallels, I want to get them at least always below 99.
Always below 99?
I don't want 199, 249. I think they're dog shit. Like I want to get like, I feel like, all right, when I'm in double digits, it's more exclusive and I want that.
No, you're 100% correct. I mean, I definitely agree with you. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's like, saying, hey, I got a numbered card out of Tops. Yeah, I got the 1923 out of 2023.
Yeah.
Or back in the day, like with Classic, one of 56,000. It's a numbered card. It's a numbered card.
It's a numbered card, but holy shit. There's also
Ford would love a Tiffany Jr.
Yeah, dude, that card is so cool, and it's so unique too. Like that partnership that they had.
Good night, Sean. Catch you later.
Hey, later, Sean. I really want to get they're my three goats of basketball. Kobe, LeBron, Jordan. I would love to get their own individual on card autos of a certain card. If I can find them of each, I would love to add one of each to my collection.
So how does your Grail card differ from a top? Is a Grail card like is your one of one Lauri Markkanen on your top 50 card list?
It is not. The only reason why, so my top 50 card list, almost every single card on here, like when you say Grail cards, Grail card means I'm never going to sell. I think there's a price for everything. I'm being real. I'm not one of those people like, I'm never going to sell this. No. Unless it's a Grail card. If you tell me it's a Grail card, I am not selling that.
Gotcha.
Or if it's a card that I've had experience like with you and pulling Walter Payton, I'm sure you're never going to sell those cards.
No.
So
my son may, but I won't.
Yeah, exactly. Like my top 50 card list is it's my top 50 cards. I probably would sell, but I want to get them in my top collection.
Right.
And also there's a second part I made this list was for more of a content journey. So I can go back to it and use it as content eventually and things like that, which I'm going to have more time and availability sooner than later.
Right.
It's going to be pretty cool.
That's good. I mean, yeah. I don't know. It's funny. I mean, I get, like I don't think of the Walter Payton as a Grail card for me. And maybe it's because I have it. You know what I mean? I you know what I'm saying? Like I don't,
I don't disagree with you. I think though, since you do have it, you don't realize it's like really a Grail card to you.
Right. That's what I mean.
It's because you already have it.
Right.
But like you pulled that, you have the story, you have the connection. and you know in your head you're never getting rid of it. So you're like, oh, that's like, how's that a grail card? Because you've already attained one of your grail cards, because it's such a key moment in your life that you'll never get you'll never forget you have it. It's dope. It's awesome. It's an experience that I wish I had.
Yeah, you gotta figure, in 1976 when I was, 12 years old, because you're 36. I'm older than you. Um, but I went ahead when
You got a better hair than I do. I got gray hair everywhere, brother.
when I was when I was 12 years old, I pulled that card out of a pack.
Man.
Yeah, and it has never left me. I mean, here it is, 1976. Here it is, 2024 and everything. And that card has been with me wherever I have lived.
Is it how's the condition?
Yeah,
Did you put it on your bike and ride around, or did you keep it
No,
safe?
no. It's not. They're not. I mean, they would not go ahead and grade high, but it's not like cards. Like, again, different. You know, me and my friends, we didn't. I mean, I never really
You didn't
looked
have
at.
sleeves or anything like that.
Yeah, we didn't. Yeah, we didn't look at the value of cards.
Right.
I mean, I tell I tell everybody, when people say, I go, when I clicked with me and my friends, and I'm not saying that it did, but when me and my friends, we didn't really look at value, right? Like, I bought a pack and you bought a pack, right? I'd open up all mines. I'd go, okay, I need these 10 cards out of these 25. Hey, Juice, here's 15. Do you need any of these?
Yeah.
I need these 3. Okay. You'd give me what you already had. I go, oh, hey, I need these 2. All right, cool. You take those 2. Thank you very much. So
Yeah.
we didn't really know value. So I could have given a Walter Payton away, because I might have said, hey, I already got 2 of them. Go ahead and take one.
Yep. And I think modern times has kind of ruined that a little bit, because now the value is just thrown in our face so much.
Yeah.
I think value of your cards now come hand to hand. I really do.
Nice.
Pulled a Bo Jackson super rookie card when I was a kid too. That's pretty sweet.
But you're right, and I think that's where it's weird. That's why I don't know how you are, but like when I go to shows and I see these kids that are, whatever, 9, 10, 11 years old, and I know that I don't care where the money came from. It's not about that. But to see them pull out a Zion case, flip it open, and there you go, and they got, friggin' $20,000 worth of cards in a Zion case, and they're 12 years old. It's like, but do you really do you get the hobby? Like, do you have the thrill of the hobby? Because no matter what, to your point, even to today and everything, if I go ahead and I get a 2023, Chrome anniversary, I'm a Fred Lynn collector. That's the guy who I collect. That's my guy. I open up that product. If I were to go ahead and somehow pull a Fred Lynn numbered card or a Fred Lynn auto card out of that box, I'm a kid again. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is unbelievable. I can't believe it. I mean, it would be friggin' awesome and everything. And I just wonder the experiences that I have had and the experiences that I've shared with my son, because we didn't have, he same type of thing, with me and everything. Like Michael Chavis, baseball player drafted by the Boston Red Sox. My 2 daughters went to high school with him right here at Sprayberry High School. What you're looking behind me, he has been in this space, hung out with us in that backyard. There's a fire pit. He's hung around that fire pit and everything, like that. We were opening up. We got some Prism baseball, right? Because we're baseball guys. He loves baseball like that. In a box that he was opening, he pulls a Michael Chavis, insert, yellow, white sparkle or something along those lines. And watching him on camera and everything, it was freaking great, because that's a guy he knows, he met. Michael was, at when before he left, when he was still in high school and my son was playing baseball, he would come watch my son. He would give my son tips on hitting tips and everything, and work with him and help him and everything like that. So that moment right there that's priceless.
Yeah.
You can't put a dollar figure, on that. And to your point, that's a grail card for him that he will never go ahead and let go, because that's the first one that he pulled up. That player of himself, of a guy that he knows.
Yep. And I think the key thing is too, when you say grail cards, like, I don't think there's any value attached to it. That's why I felt kind of embarrassed when I said mine, because people are like, "Oh, that's not expensive." Grail cards to me aren't. It has nothing to do with value.
Right.
Grail cards is the number one thing is about experience.
Right.
Grail cards are the cards, if I can acquire it, I'm never going to get rid of it.
Yep. Yeah. Like a 52 mana would never be a grail card for me.
Yeah, I have it on my top 50 cards list because I want to own it.
Right.
Eventually. I would love to own one.
Yes.
But it's not going to be a grail card for me.
Right. Right. I agree. It's, I mean, I think as long as we remember, that it's a hobby and what it truly is, and stuff like that. I mean, I think in the long run, it'll be great. It's hard that like to your point, when we do open up something, that value has to creep up in there in your mind as you're opening, rather than just the joy that you get from it.
Yeah, and there's a mixture, and I tried to. And I'm sure you've seen my comments before. I try to bleed the lines of that. Like, people get like, "Oh, this guy's screaming for a $2 card. Oh, this guy's screaming for because he pulled some stupid Lori marketing card or something along those lines." And I always say the hit of the box, because I'm truly excited to pull this guy.
That's what I do.
And like, I have so many mixed bags of people like, "Oh, this guy's screaming for a $5 card. Oh, this is great. You're like showing what the true hobbyist is," and things like that. And it's so back and forth. It's so divided nowadays because people don't. I think the hobbyists get it. The people that just care about the value 100% don't get it.
Yep.
And they're only in it for the money. But see, most people would say that might be a bad thing. I kind of think it's a good thing too. I'm not one of those people that like, "Oh, you got to see it my way." I'm a person that I just don't give a flying F what you do.
Right.
As long as you enjoy yourself. And as long as you don't tell me what to do, maybe this is a libertarian in me, but like, just do your thing, leave me alone. I'm going to do my thing, leave me alone. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you how you enjoy the hobby. I'm going to do what I want to do in the hobby.
That's why I agree, man. That to me, look, at the end of the day, collect what you want to collect. No matter what it is, and don't worry about it. Everybody, you don't have to want, you don't have to want to collect Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout or Patrick Mahomes, or Kevin Durant, or Shea, SGA or Tatum. You don't have to go ahead. If you love, whoever it may be, pick a player. It does not make a difference. If you like that player, because for whatever reason, when you watched him play, something happened that made you like that player, collect that player. Who cares? It's your collection. At the end of the day, it's yours.
Yep.
That's like people that like take me. I say the same thing. I honestly, I'm a Fred Lynn collector. Why am I a Fred Lynn collector? I grew up in New York. I'm a Mets fan. I'm a big time baseball fan, right? But I was a middle infielder, second baseman. My favorite player is a left-handed hitting center fielder. But why is that? Because I went to a baseball game. I wanted to go to a baseball game one time during the summer, and the Yankees versus the Red Sox were the only ones that were in town. The Mets were on a road trip. So my dad said, "Hey, if we're gonna go, I'm like, fine." I watched that guy play. He played unbelievable. And I was like, "Oh my gosh." At a young age, I was like, that's it. That's my guy now. I want, and it's been that way,
That's how it was with Amari Stoudemire.
Yeah.
I went to a game. My buddy was a ball boy for the Phoenix Suns. He got me passes to go down on the court before the game.
Wow.
And Amari was out there shooting. It's the first time I ever met Amari. Shook his hand. He signed a visor that I still have. And I got like Bo Outlaw to sign it. I got him to sign it. Sean Marion. Yeah, Bo Outlaw of all people. And I got Sean Marion to sign it. And I think I got Steve Nash. I do have Steve Nash's signature on a popcorn receipt. But that's the first time I met Amari, and I was just fascinated by it. And Amari became my favorite player. Yep. The most cards I've had of any athlete in my collection is Amari Stoudemire.
Very cool. Very cool.
from the Mets, buddy. I'm a Phillies fan. Come on. Hey, at least we all can agree Atlanta sucks.
Oh, you got that right. You got that right. The baseball team from Georgia sucks. Everybody gets mad at me, like a lot of these guys, because when I'm opening up cards on the chat stuff like that, I'll be like, "Oh, Austin Riley, he plays for the baseball team from Georgia," and I'll usually just go ahead and give him a little flip.
That's hilarious. I love it.
So hey, the one thing not baseball related, and unfortunately, a lot of these people won't know about it, but I gotta go ahead and I gotta ask:
Okay.
have you and your team recovered from April Fools on the Lootbox Discord?
Buddy.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, I blew up Discord too, and they basically told me to go F off.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I removed like 1,000 people from the Discord.
Oh, I know.
I put a rule in place that we have an admin chat that obviously you only admins can see, but
Yep.
I'm in there and I was basically told them, I was like, hey, look, we need to figure out a rule. I just want to get anybody out of this Discord that has not talked in like 3 months. And there's a couple people that we knew that I'm like, okay, don't get rid of this person, but everybody else, I'm like, just get rid of them. I don't care. We'll start fresh. But the Discord got up to, before we moved everybody, before the issue happened, we were like at 800 users. Then all of a sudden we went to like 1,800 because there was all these 1,000 people coming in on April Fool's thing. And now I've deleted everybody, and now are like 200 users.
Where's the loot box? What the hell are you talking about? Loot box? What is
Dude.
wrong with you people? Where's the loot box? Oh my gosh. Bing, bing, bing. And now I'm like, holy crap. I'm like, God. I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
I hated it so much.
So here's my thinking, right? I go, holy crap. Juice must have did something. I gotta get on YouTube. I gotta get on Instagram and see what the hell he must have hit like a monster card or something went happen, because why are all these people joining? Because I didn't know the whole loot box thing. So I'm thinking, what is going on? So I'm searching video after video. I'm going, what can possibly? I'm like, I'm missing something. What am I missing? And then I was like, hey, where do I go to find the loot box? What the hell are you talking about?
It sucks so bad. So that's kind of how like my name started, because since I was in gaming, I changed it to loot box. Loot boxes were these things that you can get in Overwatch that you paid coins for, and they basically gave you gear, and they were called loot boxes. And it turned into this whole thing where people hated loot boxes. So I wanted to put a positive spin on loot box, and loot box was a really highly searched term. Right. Of like 2016, 2017. So I was like, all right, I'll just name my YouTube channel Lootbox TV. And it worked for a little bit, but then all of a sudden now it backfired on me like 8 years later.
I got it, man. I was like, I couldn't believe it.
Pissed.
Oh, I can imagine.
I was livid.
Well, in the chat, you saw the guys and everything. They're going, what in the hell? Where are you coming from? What are you doing? It was just,
Dude, and some of them were like sending me death threats.
Oh my
gosh. It got bad. I had to stop everybody from sending me friend requests, and you stop getting messages. It was ridiculous.
Oh man. That was hilarious. That was hilarious. Well, hey man, I've taken up enough of your night. I appreciate you going ahead and coming on, hanging out and chatting with me. Always
Absolutely,
great. Appreciate the time you always give, especially like when I see you at shows and everything, making sure that we always get a chance to at least say hello and stuff like that. So I appreciate you guys. Appreciate what you guys do. Thanks for introducing me to G at Louisville, because like I said, a true asset to the hobby and everything. I enjoy talking to him, and stuff like that. I keep trying to go ahead and get him on. Wednesday nights are tough, so I keep asking him, hey, just let me know if there's a Wednesday when you ain't doing a break. Let me know. I'll clear it out. We'll figure a way to get you on.
I'll get him on. I'll get him on.
Okay, that sounds good. That sounds good. So, but hey, any last words?
I first and foremost, I appreciate you. I appreciate everything you do. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for being an example of what the hobby should be.
Thank you.
I really appreciate coming on here and talking with you. Anytime you want me to come on, let me know. I'll make time. We'll figure it out. But I look forward to seeing you again. And next time we see each other, maybe we should do lunch or something like that. Grab a beer or something.
We can
Go
do
from
that. I
there.
mean, we don't live that far from each other.
We'll figure it out.
I'm in Marietta.
Okay. Yeah, there we go. We're probably like an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
I'm all the way out in Mall, Georgia.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, cool, man. Thanks a lot. I appreciate your time and effort. Hey, guys, again, check him out. Worth the watch. Good guys, and you won't have a bad experience if you hang out with these guys and stuff like that. So appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks a lot as always. Don't forget, hey, we'll be back next week. Got another guest. Got Jesse from Card Lines coming on. Going to be another good one, and we will talk to you guys later. Thanks a lot, everybody.